Patron Santorios of the community, Michael Santorios, asked, Gregg, do you see any key trends that you believe will shape the single-family rental market in Jacksonville for the next 5 to 10 years?
Do I see any key trends that will shape the housing market? Yes, I see two key trends. I see lack of supply. Lack of supply equals high floor for pricing. Then I see interest rates. And while interest rates are elevated like they are, it's dampening demand. But because we have such a lack of supply, it keeps that high floor. It keeps stability in the pricing of this asset, which is what we're experiencing. And then I think of what's next, because the supply problem is not going to be fixed soon. When I say the supply problem is not going to be fixed soon, what that means is that is ripe for additional home price appreciation. So it's a problem for our society as far as not having enough housing, but as investors, you're going to profit from that. And I wish that we had more supply of housing because it would help with the affordability housing crisis. But the reality is, while supply is low and demand is higher, prices go up. So two trends that are going to shape the market over the next 5 years. Number one, low supply of housing, not changing anytime soon. And then what happens next with interest rates? At some point, they are going to go down. If you see a market right now that is flat with, call it 8% interest rates out there for the average homeowner out there, just imagine what home price appreciation would be today if that was a 7% interest rate or a 6% interest rate, because that is what we're going to see at some time. And when that happens, we're still going to have the supply problem and home prices are going to go up substantially.
I like where you stand real solid on the supply issue because you know those numbers and they're tried and true. I like to take assumptions here. So let's talk about trends that I believe in. Right?
Okay.
Like the first thing that came to mind as well for me was remote work and Zoom towns. And I know that you're a big believer in being in office, right? So like while one could say this idea of you can work from anywhere would aid warmer climate, would aid lower state taxes and stuff like that, I'm willing to forsake that one because I think the book is out on remote work. Here's something. I don't think that the affordability crisis is going anywhere. And while the affordability crisis affects everybody, I believe that it affects these like high-priced markets negatively, and it affects below median home price markets positively.
Right.
And I think the cat's out of the bag on Jacksonville being a great place to live and a better place than you thought as an economic opportunity 5 years ago when, like my friends used to be like, Jacksonville, why are you moving to Jacksonville? Right? Like people, I remember going home to Miami, that first Emerge America show, and be like, dude, I love this place. I think it's the next Orange County. Like, yeah, okay, bro. Right? Like in that, because that's how people talk about me. Literally the guy sounded like that. Gotcha. But now people see this city in a very different light, so I think there is a trend of demand that is going to continue to happen for living in Jacksonville that's going to be buoyed by the affordability crisis and what this town represents. And I think there's another trend that I cannot believe you didn't say, which is downtown.
Yeah.
Like downtown Jacksonville in the next 5 to 10 years will look profoundly different than what it looks like right now. And that only adds to reinforcing that trend of demand continuing to rise here. So I would also add those two.
I think those are wonderful points, and I concur.